Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Hold on, let me just make sure that I got this. All right, there we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the room. Happy Tuesday to you wherever you are. Good morning, Shantae. Good morning, Patsy Burke. Good morning, Marianne Frederick. Nicole, good morning. Good morning, Lydia James. Nikisha, good morning. Good morning, Rita Williams. Hold on. DJ Papadesso, good morning. All the names, why that name? Shauna, Town Girl, Dakota, good morning. Jackie Douglas Adams, good morning. Jackie, you've been here for what? Or have you left already? And I'm yet to see my six-pack, but it's okay. Enjoy your honeymoon, as always. You're going to need me again, but carry on. Sonia, good morning. How are you? Hope all is well on your end as well. Good morning, Glendolyn. Good morning, Joanna. Good morning. Hey, Elimas. Good morning. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Kizzy. Jackie left Kizzy. Oh, wow. Okay. No, you didn't need me then. Don't need me now. Keep it moving. Where you were, who you were with, you can call or message them. They'll be more than happy to accommodate you because I'm not happy to accommodate you right now. Okay, where were we before I got distracted by Jacqueline? Glendolyn, good morning. Elimas, Inspector Hitman Hurricane Roger Gilbert, good morning. Kizzy Thomas, good morning. Lou, how are you? UK checking in, good morning. Good morning. After Lou was who? Anushka, happy birthday. It's your birthday today. Yeah, hope you have an amazing celebration as you make another turn around the sun. I wish you all the best and all that you wish for yourself. Good health and all that good stuff in 2024. So guys, what the F? That is her name. Anushka. It's her birthday today. So join me in wishing a happy birthday. Salva, good morning. Whatever, Miss Story. Good morning, Ingrid. Good morning, Melinda. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. And I am so happy to have you back in my company. Good morning, Alinda. And those of you viewing on YouTube, good morning. If you're viewing on Facebook, on YouTube, you're listening on radio 95.1, 95.3, or listening online on one of the apps or a Power Web page. There's so many different mediums to be part of the program. We appreciate you. Good morning, Gluma. Good morning, Zavid, Seals, Molly, Monroe. Good morning, Lisa. How are you today? How are you feeling, Lisa? Are you doing better? Morning, Sharma. Come on in, guys, and hit the share button. Valerie Ross, good morning. Yeah, y'all had me pissed off yesterday. Like, y'all were just doing the most. That I had so many other things on my agenda to talk about, and I completely left them out to just, deal with what transpired yesterday. And, not to go too much into that, but someone sent me a video yesterday, a clip of the family. And you see what I said, why I said yesterday that families sometimes are the problems, because you realize you're breeding unsavory characters and people with questionable behaviors, and you sit back and it's the same thing you see time and time again, that your boy child or your sibling could murder somebody holding the gun. You see it, and for whatever reason they end up being killed. yeah, go having these eulogies. Oh, he was a nice, respectable son. He was an amazing brother, the best you could ask for. But you are aware that he's terrorizing people, making people's lives miserable, a living hell. But then instead of you all standing up and saying, listen, yes, he was our family, yes, they were whatever, but we don't condone such acts. We don't condone such behavior. He will always be, or he's always going to be our sibling, or whatever the case might be. But we don't condone. Everybody's a nice child. Like, yeah, well, y'all concerned about the treatment of your good sibling, good son, but not concerned about what your sibling or your good child may or allegedly did. Something is wrong with y'all. I swear. I was like, I actually felt sad because imagine growing up in an environment like that that enables a person's particular behavior instead of nipping it in the bud and saying, hey, you got to get it together. This is not, we don't accept that. We don't condone that. These people are on camera bawling for their lovely, awesome, amazing child. Like I said yesterday, then we blame everybody else. I'm not sure how the police is supposed to be responsible for raising your children. The teachers are responsible. Everybody's responsible except you. Ingrid says 3 different years for RAPE, but still saying they're. I don't know. I mean, I have nothing against supporting your sibling. You could support. You're going to be there. They're going to need you. I didn't even hear condolences or some sort of sympathy to the victim or victims or whatever. Nothing of the sort. Lydia says parents are the last to know of some of the things their children are involved in. That may be true, but sometimes they're fully aware, especially on this little rock when you live in little communities. As much as you may be the last, sometimes there are some that are fully aware. Anushka says he has been a terror from young. I don't know who they're trying to convince. And that is a thing because I'm seeing people from the neighborhood, from the community saying this has been a behavior, this has been a pattern for years. Oh boy. A lot of, and we always talk about people being victims of their circumstances, of the situations. And while that may be true, I think also experience is the greatest teacher. And there are certain things that I was a part of growing up, and I vowed I never wanted it to be that way because I know better. So I felt I ought to do better in certain aspects because I lived it, I experienced it firsthand. And while that may be true, you could be brought up a particular way. And again, like I mentioned yesterday, the lack of, fathers and, proper parenting, and people are just making children and not being there fully, just providing the bare necessities, the food, the clothing, the roof, and not really there to help them mentally to develop emotionally and all these things. And y'all say the most. But for one, there's a lot of people having children who have no business having children. One, you don't even know how to take care of them. You're getting pregnant for people who are unemployed, have no intention of getting a job. They're chilling, smoking weed, having the time of their life. And then, oh, this man not good, not man not too good. You met the man basically doing nothing. And we're just so invested in having sex like it's going out of style that let me just have sex and couldn't care less about the consequences in 2024 when there are so many ways to protect yourself and you don't have to wait on a man to use protection, and you can protect because the majority of the times you are the ones left with these children to take care of. And it's okay if you don't, life happens. No child, I don't like to refer to children as mistakes, but child happened. But then you go 2, 3, 4, 5, cycle continue to repeat itself. You already know the problems you're having not having child father one present. but then you have three, four, five for the same sort of situation. So sometimes we are our own victims. We create our own problems because we don't stop and say, you know what? All right, it happened. So now it's my time to get it together, see how I can be the best mother I can to this child. Father is absent, get my job, further my education, but just find a way. And sometimes you yourself, you've been a part of that life. That's how your mother, your mother was in the same situation. You saw how it affected her. You saw how it affected you, but then you ups and do the same thing and expect a different. I don't know. But all I can say is, Shanti, please do. All I can say is, we gotta break the cycle at some point, right, Kizzy? We have to break the cycle at some point, because we're gonna continue to be doing this, going round and around and around and around, and having the same old conversations and yada yada yada. And it is what it is. But when it affects the society at large, it's not like an incident that is isolated. It only affects you. It affects us. It affects, the peace and tranquility we're known for. It affects the image of our beautiful rock. Tourism is our mainstay. It's what we depend on. So you can't say, okay, well, this person didn't hurt my family or whatever the case might be, so I'm not affected. We are all affected indirectly. So we got to get it together. We got to break the cycle. Just got to break the cycle. Let me hear what Elimus on from Alive this morning. Yes, Elimus.
Arana, darling.
Yes, Elimus.
First one for the year. I promise just a little 5 minutes because I know you have your job to do.
Mm-hmm.
I promise I wouldn't stay long. But you see that same topic?
Mm-hmm.
I get me sick.
Mm.
When the mother crying and say, bring back my son, and I want my son, and bring back my son. How the son reach in St. Vincent?
I don't know. Probably like, I don't know. Like a
How he
miracle.
reach
Like,
How he reach in St. Vincent?
you remember the story of the Wizard of Oz or something? So when Dorothy used to spin around and click her heels 3 times and she would appear somewhere.
And he have a little slang they just say you fully done. You see them three there? They fully done. Listen why I tell you that. You escape from prison. You just stay in Grenada and hide for a little while and suck a little something or bed in the river until they catch you. You're going to create more problems. You create more problems and you end up in a next man country. So why you thinking why you would have stay in the country like no calling to them training normal without anybody knowing anything?
Apparently. I guess when you're desperate, you don't think of the consequences.
This is what they call fully done, Sarona.
Capitals too. Caps.
Yeah, man. Come on. You escape. You don't stay around me. You don't hide. Let them police look for you over the hills or let them look for 5 days and you enjoying Grenada. You escape and you go in a next man country. You add on more crime in your hand. You add on more, make it worse.
So the woman wants to child.
And more that they balling, bring back me. I hope she know that's it for her son.
Lady say she wants to
child. Bring back my son. I want my son.
Well, she needs to go get him then. If that's the case, go over to and walk into the place and take your child and go with your child.
And I go tell you something, Aruna. Somebody who living in the area tell me that don't bother with them nonsense. They say the fella is a criminal. They say grandmother get it, auntie get it, everybody get it, and the mother defend everybody. And say not true. They tell me the grandmother pussy have. Anyway, let me go because that upset me. We looking bad. Aruna, we looking bad. 2 weeks ago, they on stage and they all over social media bragging about me island. You could sleep with the windows open.
Yeah, shame. A shame too. A shame. A good shame too.
That, if I tell you he upset me, Aruna. And you know, them 2 white people is white people. So you know you go be on the news all over the world.
No, shame. A good shame.
Come on, man. I mean, they escape. It is what it is. People also escape all over the world. Right? That's a different topic. They escape, but stay home, hide home. Give them police and MSS you work to do to look for you. You go in the next one to prove what? And you're going to make it worse. And the mother they bring home me child, a wife me child, bring home me child. No, she don't even talk about the people that missing. The people bought property they stole, She don't even talk about them family going through pain too.
Man,
We just have to hold a conversation, and a serious conversation. And me and you could end up in problems anytime.
I'm
Right?
not saying
could end
no.
up but that is fully done. When you talk about fully done, that is fully done. And I hope the family know them don't have no time. Them don't see outside again. Because they make it worse on themselves.
Yeah, man.
And that's double murder. But that's our next topic.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Rona.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, thank you. And I'm upset. If I tell you
Yeah,
upset,
I know. For you to, you don't usually chime in on stuff like that. So if you do it, I know you're seriously concerned. So thanks for that. And that's not the only thing, on top of it, we also have, wow. So it's an ugly, ugly story, Brands. It's an ugly, ugly story. And, I saw a teacher said the same thing yesterday, that if we think that those people are the only ones who behave like that, they are accustomed having other parents coming to the school and threaten and don't hit my child and do this and have, as old people used to say, listen or license, or for the children could do anything. And I'm not saying you're not supposed to stand by your child, but you also should be teaching your children wrong, right, accepting responsibility for their actions, accountability, etc. But if you, as a parent, know your child is doing wrong and you're giving them a pass, that's enabling the behavior. If, as a child, the person that you see every day, that you live with, that care for you, realize they're getting a pass from you, to them, that is enabling, you're okay with it. I mean, you don't want nobody to abuse your child, and I'll never sit here and condone anybody abusing anybody's child. But I'm seeing teachers on social media talking about the parents. And like, our parents today different from parents back in the day, because growing up, you did something wrong, your teacher didn't have to call your parents. As a matter of fact, you were praying. Your teacher never called your parent to tell her that you or him that you're misbehaving in some way. Because some teachers, your parents coming into school and beat you in front of your peers and embarrass you. And if you got punished for whatever, they would inform your parents. And when you go home, look forward for another one. Imagine you were disciplined for passing and not saying good morning to your neighbor. I mean, I know that parents are younger now than before, but I just don't understand. One or two used to be ignorant and come into school and rile up, but when the parents and the teachers explained the situation, they would calm down. But I've heard of parents going to school with weapons and to beat other people's children for doing this, or going to fight with teachers. And then we're complaining about the police fault, the politician's fault. It's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell's fault. It's ex-Prime Minister Keith Mitchell's fault. It's everybody's fault, but you aren't taking no sort of responsibility for your children. Sometimes I'll be seeing like little children in supermarkets, and I'm talking like 3-4 year olds, right? And at 3 years old, you have a parent who's already hopeless. And I witnessed it a couple of days ago. That little boy was acting up in the supermarket. Apparently he wanted something, and you could see the mother didn't have the extra to get it, like some snack or whatever. And she's pulling him and saying no, and trying to play it off like, we have home. And he's like, no, we ain't have not home. And he's holding on to that snack and started kicking and screaming and throwing down on the ground and hollering and making a scene, and then started to throw stuff from the shelves. And she's standing there like totally hopeless. And I'm saying to myself, boy, times have changed. Times have seriously changed, because growing up, before you went out with your mother or your parent, they let you know, hey, when we go out, don't touch nothing, don't ask for nothing, look right, stay by my side. And if you happen to just glance, because children, you're attracted to snacks and sweets, and so you're looking at the shelves longingly, and they'll just look at you and you straighten your face one time and look straight ahead like you were in the army. Straight ahead. And they didn't have to touch you. They had this eye that just promised give you a promise of what's to come if you continue to do nonsense like this. They didn't even say a word. So I'm just thinking, as a child, imagine going in supermarket or going outside and you acting up and throwing yourself down on ground and all them thing, and you, hello, they will beat you from where you threw yourself down to the time you reach home. And a lot of times you walked. You didn't really like from Granborough to Granville. You didn't really take bus, so you don't get a beating and you're running. You run from Granville to Granborough. So what is different now? Is it a case because everybody's minding their business? Because then you had the whole village. People in the village had authority to cut your tail if they see you in certain places doing. Remember, I remember getting beaten for not saying good morning. Passing a neighbor, didn't see her. I'm like, okay, let me go about my business. Me and see. And you're playing big woman, you pass Miss Helen straight, and but I did not see Miss Helen. It doesn't matter. You see her, you don't see her. When you pass and shout out good morning, Miss Helen. Whether she answers or not is not your business. Stay in your place as a child. Children these days, you'll be passing them on the street and they'll be looking at you like they'll go onto the buses, they sit next to an adult, they just come into the bus, get off the bus, and not even good morning, no nothing. And is it a case of everybody we've gotten to a place where everybody's about me and mine, mind your business? Because like I said, then the entire village, you knew everybody, you knew who lived in every house. And they had the authority to straighten you if they saw you anywhere getting out of hand. It wasn't the case of they would come or your parents would go to them and want to fight with them and cuss them what you hit my child for, because they wouldn't hit you for no reason. And even if they didn't hit you, they would call you out on what you're doing and go home. What you doing here? Go straight home. You'll be seeing children chilling on the block. I call behind the NIS building the block after 4, 5, 6 in the evening time. Imagine, for one, growing up then before the street light came on, you had to be inside. So I don't know how you're outside after 6. But I guess times have changed, like seriously changed, and it's not for the better. Brent says, Dr. Keith and Prime Minister Dickon, they're good fathers. That is an example we take from them. We can take from them. They're just children, like children are the parents. And is it a case of parents are trying too hard to be friends? And there's nothing wrong with that, but they need to maintain, I am still parent and you're still child. I am still parent and you're still child. Are we just one big friend because we drinking the same drinks, we hanging the same way, daughters and mothers wearing the same clothing? What is it? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
I am good.
It has been a minute since I called.
I haven't heard you in a while. You good?
Yes, I'm good.
All right.
This is so sensitive and so delicate that I think we overlook it. I don't think we realize
Turn down
how.
the volume of I'm hearing myself in the background. I'm not hearing you clear.
Yes,
Mhm.
this topic is so sensitive and so delicate. I don't think we understand how sensitive this is and how important it is to deal with as a nation and not just look at this isolated incident. I had a conversation with a parent a few weeks ago, and that parent is a teacher. And the parent was saying to me, "Oh, this child I have is such an intelligent child, but he rude, but that's okay because that's the world we're living in. So he has to be strong. He has to stand up for himself. He has to know to handle this life out here." And this is coming from a teacher slash parent. Now, keep in mind, I'm not bashing teachers. I want to put that out there. But the reason I brought that up is because they were speaking about a relative, basically. The student is a relative, right? And if that's the home that that child is coming from, where it's accepted to be rude and it's accepted to do certain things because, the world we're living in now has changed. But you're also a teacher that will go into the school and tell a child, oh, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that because it's your job to say that. But at home, it is acceptable because now they have to go with the norm of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And his argument was the environment we had and the world we grew up in is no longer what it used to be. So we can't train our children how our parents trained us, which is so makes no sense to me. But most of the persons that was around listening to our conversation agreed. So hence the reason we have children who turn into adults doing the things that we are now witnessing. Because the parenting is no longer there, the mindset that we had, it's we are taking it away from ourselves. We're not giving it to our children. That look you were talking about. When I was in church, my mother turned around without a word.
Mm-hmm.
We used to call it the eye.
The eye.
And she turned around and that was enough.
Mm-hmm.
We used to be afraid when we step outside she give us to rap. We sit there and not a word in English. We want to sneeze hard because it may upset her. And I don't understand how it is. Persons that grew up in that kind of upbringing would now change and say, the world is different, so our kids have to be different. We have to train them different. But then you're sending these people out in society. It's no longer your child. When you have a child, that child doesn't really belong to you 100%. That child would go into society. That child belongs to society. You have to know what you're giving to society because you yourself would reap that, whether it's good or bad. You would reap it. If it's not directly, it would be indirectly. So a child is not just yours. I don't understand the mindset of our young parents and from this incident, our older parents as well.
Mm-hmm.
I not for the life of me, I don't see how it is they cannot see. If you do not train a child properly from now, how in Jesus' name you expect that person to be a responsible member of society? How it is you expect them to be a law abiding citizen? How? And when the crime has been done, now you want to cry shame on everybody else except you.
Mm-hmm.
You are the only person that has to take the shame. And I think they should start to jail some of these parents or fine them.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a
Yeah, should be
fine.
held accountable.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because they're the one that brought up those children, those
Mm-hmm.
people that are not adults.
Mm-hmm.
They are the one that impacted the negative mindset that they have.
And I'm not saying there aren't parents who try their best. They like do everything like they by the book. They think that they ought to do, give everything and stuff. And like the saying still goes, you know, you make children, you don't make their mind. But are there parents who can honestly sit back? If you're a parent who can honestly sit back and say, you know what, I really did my best, but this is what happened, and of course accept responsibility same way
Well, I may not.
for the behavior or whatever transpired.
I don't know if I'm being biased with what I'm about to say now, but I am not a firm believer of that last statement just
Mhm.
because of how I was brought up.
Got you.
And I know that fear sometimes your parents instill in you from the moment you could creep and you touch something that you're not supposed to touch. That firm no. With that finger, you understand that this is wrong. From the moment you can creep. So most parents, well not most, some parents will say, well, I've done my best. I've made the sacrifices, I've taught them, I've said this is right, this is wrong. But from what age? From what stage did you start to do it? Did you start to do it when they were walking and could speak and was it a stage where they started to go secondary school? At what stage did you decided that this is a time to put down that solid hand? And that is the question we have to ask.
But we
This,
see, we're talking about parenting in the context like if every child has access to both mother and father. And sadly, if you were to speak to a lot of young men or women you see behaving in a particular way, there's an absence. Sometimes it's your mother doing everything on her own, trying to make ends meet. So she don't have time to check in and see what you're doing, where you're going, who you're going with, because she's so busy trying to put food on the table and keeping a roof over your heads. And you have a lot of men who are just not present. There's just so much to that we can talk about that it really do my head in. I swear it really makes you like what else can you do? What else can you say?
in that case, well, yes, there's the exception to every rule. So in a case like that, then you probably have to check on the guardian if they were guardians and see the background of the child. But for those who have had parents, because you cannot blame a person, not necessarily a child, for something they didn't know about. fun upbringing
Got
they
you.
didn't have. So
Hmm.
for the exception to the rule, we can understand, or we can say, okay, well, he or she did not have somebody solid around them. It's not that they had, but it wasn't taught to them. They didn't have it to begin with.
Mhm.
But for those that had a mother and a father, or a father and mother that could have done it and didn't do it, and then expect society to just
Mhm.
accept their child or children, those are the ones that should have to some sort of penalty because you
Got you.
had the opportunity to do better and you didn't.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate your call as always. Have a good day.
You too.
Hmm. Yeah, there's so many mitigating factors that we can point. The use of alcohol and drugs among young people. You see them drinking like hard alcohol. You see them smoking even in the schools. You're hearing complaints. And a lot of parents won't know because, like I said yesterday, a lot of you don't go to PTA, so you have no idea. You'd hear of actually doing a business selling marijuana in school, and going in all kind of little cozy corner to smoke, consuming hard alcohol. And our laws are just so frivolous when it comes to things like that. You'll see children, even though they may not be in uniform, going into bars and buying alcohol and drinking, or going to supermarkets and buying bottles, and after school changing into their clothes, and there is no ID. And like you said, much as we like to jump on the big, you know, bad United States of America and this, that, and the other, when it comes to certain things like that, they don't play. I remember being like, I was like 27 or something like that, and having to show ID to go into a club. And there are children you see drinking and you know they're underage, but they're able to walk into a shop, buy cigarettes, buy alcohol. So there's, like I said, this conversation is one that might probably take the rest of the year to unpack because there's just so many factors that can influence children behaving in a particular manner. I'm not no expert, but I'm just going based on observation and things that I'm told, and I'm not no parent, so I can't speak really from a place of, authority. But I got common sense. And there are a lot of people with common sense, right? Branson's runes, there's a difference between making a child and being a parent. Parenting is a skill. And so going forward, parenting must be part of the sessions pregnant women undergo when they go to clinics, such as they do in Cuba. Burns, we have a lot of making a child. Caller, you can call back. I'm sorry. Yeah. What we have and see is a lot of making a child or making children and not really parenting. Because first thing you'd see a child doing something and you raise it, oh, you don't have child, you don't have children, you can't tell me nothing. Okay. But it's okay to ask me for help, but it's not okay to get my opinion because you don't have child, you don't have children, you can't tell me. All right, miss. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine.
Okay, haven't heard you in a while.
Yes, I'm there.
Good,
Very good.
good, good.
I'm dramatic and cricket and that sort of thing.
I
I hear
got
you all
you.
the time anyway. One of the things, an angle that no one seemed to be um, speaking about
Hey,
them.
two heads better than one, so that's where you come in.
Yes,
Mhm.
there is the perception that children grow into adults without knowing anything. Let me give you an example. I have some children I call my grandchildren. I have no grand really. One, when he was 3 years old, did something. Saw me come in and hide. What I'm saying, from 3 years old, you know you did something wrong. What is stopping you from being 10 years and knowing that you are going wrong? 15, you are wrong, and 20, you are wrong. So that someone, somewhere along the line, is responsible for you not knowing that you are going the wrong way. Everyone, all of us, you, Aruna, and me, know when we are doing something wrong. Do we need a Bible, a preacher, a parent, or anything to tell us that we are going wrong? Do we? Why don't we take responsibility for it?
Yeah,
You are
our
ultimately
moral compass is supposed to kick in at some point.
beautiful. You are ultimately responsible for everything you do. No one else is responsible for what you do. Someone slap you up and you chop off the hand, you are still responsible for chopping off the hand.
Mhm.
You cannot come and tell me because he slapped you, chop your hand. Because he slapped you, go call the police.
You're ultimately
And
responsible.
you are ultimately responsible. I hear no one putting no responsibility on anybody. Just parents, some parents did beautiful job. Some parent
That's why I said, sometimes there are parents who can
great
sit
job.
back and say, I did
Every
my best.
yeah,
You
but
wouldn't paint everybody with the same brush.
yeah, but you go on,
Mhm.
you allow yourself to be influenced by John, Jim, Janet. You do your nonsense, and somehow is the teacher didn't teach you, the school didn't give you that. Where are the individual responsibility? It's kind of irksome to me to consistently hear people try to paint somebody for what this child
Mhm.
turned out because she wanted to turn out that. They knew they were doing wrong, yet they somewhere feel it would benefit them to continue wrong, to be a gang member, to be whatever, and all you have nothing. Give individual responsibility and let the takers over your action. I didn't cause you to do anything. You were in control of yourself at all point in time unless you are a lunatic. If you have a mental problem, let me put it nicely, and if you are mentally challenged, then basically your reasoning will be skewed and you may do something with it. But let's say we are basically normal like we are, you are ultimate responsible for our action, and we must
Sure.
help with that and let it get whatever it is. I have a child who do something wrong and
You
misguide.
face the consequences.
Of course you're on your own. I'm not even getting a lawyer for you, darling.
Oh,
I
that's
bring you
harsh.
up. I bring you up telling you this is what I'm transferred. This is what we're going to do. You understood it. You know it clearly. You are not supposed to steal. You are not supposed to do it. And you go and do it. Man, you're on your own.
You're on your
You know,
own.
when you're in the courthouse, you're not getting a lawyer paying lawyer for you. You have to be out of your tiny mind. But let people take the individual responsibility and face whatever you do. You are responsible for it.
Got you.
Have a great day.
Have a good day. Thanks so much. Always appreciate your contribution. Sheila is making a really good point. I guess that's in reference to what I was talking about. Children buying alcohol, consuming alcohol. Yeah. She's saying which promoter enforces only adults in their fed. That's another thing you see as well. Because I've been to events where I know these are school children here. There's an event, you go purchase your ticket, whatever the case might be, and you show up. And that is something we need to look at as well. Asking for IDs. If you question you're looking at a child and you're seeing student on their face, or you think they might be underage. There's so many things you have to show IDs for, but something like underage children consuming alcohol, it's like one of the easiest thing to do. You have your money, you go into the shop or the supermarket or the store, and you buy it. So there's a lot, like I said, that we seriously need to look at. Let me see if I can take this last call. Good morning.
Hi, Honorable Morning.
Morning,
I
morning.
call that topic with the students at FET. But when you check out bingo, you ever watch Wagisi Bingo?
I've never been.
That is where we had to look at. Wagisi Bingo is the parents bring the little children, the children sleeping on the parents of gamble.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But they're allowed to come inside. You understand?
Mhm.
So it's a whole factor where you have to look at the police who is securing the FET, and people are letting them in at the entrance, all these things. Because it's not on a one side thing with promoters alone. We have to look at the gambling sections that too.
Okay.
You can Wagisi Bingo go, you see children there, little children in primary school, they inside the bingo run up and on. You
Yeah.
understand?
But they were bought there by their parents, so then again,
Bought
the
there by the
responsibility of the parents.
Yeah, but the promoter himself have to know this shouldn't be allowed. But access free. We just doing anything. We can't blame it on the promoters of FET alone.
I guess I got you.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I have another one over here. Hold on, let me hear what this person is saying. Listen, y'all ain't tying me up and making me stay over here for the. Let me know if you guys are hearing the voice over here. Okay, I don't think you guys are not hearing, right? I tried putting it up. I'm gonna have to put it up on my phone because I don't think I thought that problem was rectified. It worked just fine the other day. Hold on, guys. Let me just see what's going on here. play. Yeah, I don't think y'all are hearing it. Can't hear? Yeah, I figured that out. I thought it was rectified the other day. I don't know what's. Hold on, hold on. Let me just check the settings. Audio. Sounds. Hold on, because I really want to play this before I go. Yeah, I got a lot of messages on that. I'm gonna have to play it for my. It worked just fine the other day. Why did it go back to doing this? It was playing fine. Okay, let me just play it. So you guys are gonna have to listen. Hold on. Okay.
Aruna, morning. And you see, when I make posts about censorship on the radio and in Carnival, because imagine we are groomed in a society where children cannot attend adult events, including our own cultural events during Carnival, and see very lewd behavior and listen to very obscene lyrics about degrading women, the abuse of alcohol, and the abuse of women, and all these things. And we take it as the norm. And when people grow up doing certain things, we are surprised. You know, you in the midst of adults, drunk, blocking, drain. This is how we groom the future. So we can't be too surprised with what goes on. So there's something that needs to be done. And I tell people, not because something is being done for long, it means we should call it culture. We need to take stock of what we're doing. People can vex with me, but it is the reality. Listen to the majority of the music that we hear on the airwaves and in parties. And in most parties, children don't even have to show ID to get in. They need to have ratings on events.
All right. So the problem is like hearing it online. You guys are hearing it on the radio if I play it from over there. So I'll have to get Scratch to sort that out again.
And that's a good point should I make because you have one particular promoter. Anytime you go, he shows it like a kid fit. Yeah. And he always have prices for Term City students as if it's only Term City students who are going to buy it. Of course, there'll be secondary school students buying the tickets as well.
Well, I'm glad we are recognizing and seeing things that we need to areas that we definitely need to, as they would say, buck up on. You know, areas that we need to have more or better control and not just anything goes anyhow. Like there's like we're leaving. I know we're in a democracy, right? But there are still rules and regulations. There are still things that you have to do or not do, and unless you're an adult you still have to abide by certain things and you still have to have some measure of control as a parent or as a guardian as a whatever. But it just seems like everybody's just doing what they want, when they want, how they want, and just children are being left to their own devices. Here's a phone, here's a iPad, here's they're being given all these things, all the material stuff. But what they're not being given is time, spending time together with my son. Let's go kick some ball, some one-on-one time with my children. Let's go on the beach, put on the gadgets, put on the phone, put on everything. We're going out this weekend. We're going and spend time together, talking what's going on, how's school, what's bothering you. I'm sure if you were to ask some children if they ever had that conversation with their parents, they'll tell you no straight up. Parents on social media even more than children. Children come home from school, you don't even ask, do you have anything I can help you with? Do you have homework? What's going on? Any projects? And not some, not all. There are parents who do an amazing job, interested in their children's lives in every way, shape, and form. And not like you're a bother. I give you everything you need, or I give you food, I give you shelter. What else you want from me? You're busy on your phone. They're in their room on their phone. You don't know what they're doing, who they're speaking to. Your daughters might be on phones or on Messenger with all sorts of big old man. You don't know because you're busy doing your own thing. So it's a lot. Parent socialization needs to be sanitized. So we have a lot of work to do. So, like I said, we can't continue to sing up and up and up and up, and we're not working on our people. Yes, you're seeing the buildings going up, you're seeing this, that, and the other. But unless we start putting serious investments in the people, our people, because at the end of the day, this rock is nothing without us. It cannot develop without us. And development can't be just in one area. And there must be some maybe not so pleasant decisions that needs to be taken. Might be uncomfortable because you know how we are when it comes to change. But there has to be something. We have to do something. We can't just keep on having this conversation. We need to do, and you need to see it happening, starting from the top, bottom to the top, top to the bottom, whatever. But then we have to start somewhere. So yep, that is the thing when ugly occurs. We introspect. It is healthy, though uncomfortable. So now we need organization, policy, and leadership to remedy this. We can, of course, correct. We are not far gone, but slipping off the rails a bit. And we have to do it. We have to do it. We have to start looking at the root of the situation and looking at solutions. And not just point fingers or blame, play the blame game, but actually start working on solutions. Because at the end of the day, this is home. This is our little rock. And we can't just sit by and be okay with, what's been happening in recent times. Because if we don't, it won't get better. So, Sam says governments don't want to make unpopular decisions because you see, governments are always looking at the next vote, the next cycle. But if you do the right thing and people understand why you're doing it, the support will be there. It's not just about doing the things that makes you look good to remain in office or to get another chance at office. And that unfortunately is one of the problems we have. Governments are afraid to make, or maybe not comfortable with making unpopular decisions. That is another conversation we need to have. So Samuel, I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 11 a.m. in the forenoon. And we'll start with that part of it. Let's talk this week. Let's seriously talk. Y'all and y'all man and woman problems can wait. Our children need guidance. That's what we need to talk to. Some of y'all, we could preach till the fall come home. Y'all gonna still be fighting up with man and fighting up with who and who. But anyways, we'll talk about that and more on tomorrow's episode. All right? Thank you so much, everybody, for your contribution. Thank you for the calls, voice notes, those of you in the comment section. Appreciate it. Thank you so much to our friends at Beacon Insurance and Western Union as well for powering up our ladies' room for today. All right, guys, so hope you come back tomorrow. Let's continue the conversation. All right? Have a great Tuesday.